Scrambled Egg Super is an animated short film from 1993. It's directed by Messecar, based, of course, on the story by Dr. Seuss, and is narrated by Ambler. The narration's very good. It is very creatively written. The animation's not too bad, but I found the story to become rather boring after the first couple of minutes, and the full thing is about 15 minutes, and I really feel like it could have wrapped up within about 5 minutes. I really didn't find this one to be anywhere near as delightful as most other Dr. Seuss stories. It's about a boy called Peter T. Hooper, and he was fed up of scrambled eggs always tasting the same because they always come from hen's eggs, so they always have the same taste. I don't know why nobody told him to just add a different seasoning or something. His solution was to use different eggs instead. But he's not just using different eggs from the store. He has decided to go out and get the eggs of all kinds of fantastical, creative creatures, and that in itself is fine. As a concept, it works well enough. But I found that the novelty wore off within a couple of minutes. And while I still appreciate the creativity, both in terms of the designs of the characters, the naming of the characters, and also the narration as well, I just found that it was pretty boring after a few minutes and I wasn't that bothered. We do get a bit of an adventure story at one point as we hear a slightly longer tale of Peter T. Hooper's efforts to capture a particular kind of egg. So the pacing in that sense isn't too bad. We get quite a lot of different animals and then we spend a bit of time on one or two animals. So we have a nice variety in the pacing. It's not all the same. But that wasn't enough to save it for me. I didn't come away from this feeling particularly satisfied. So it was fine. I don't mind having watched it. I certainly don't regret having watched it. But I do feel like I lost interest after maybe the first 2 or 3 minutes. It just became very repetitive, but it doesn't take away from the creativity, and the narration is very good. Do I recommend it? Yes, if you're a Dr. Seuss fan and you haven't seen it or you don't remember it. I haven't read the book, so I don't know exactly how it compares. And honestly, I'm not interested in reading this particular book. But if you do know how it compares, please feel free to share that information. If you are a Dr. Seuss fan in general, I'd say check it out. There might be some bits in this that appeal to you, but in general, I'd say it's nothing that interesting, at least based on my personal opinions. Other people might like it a lot more than I did. It is creative. It is very well narrated, and the animation is okay. But I found it to be a little bit too dull once the novelty wore off. So for me, Scrambled Egg Super just wasn't amazing.